Hey, what's up? John Sonmez here from simpleprogrammer.com. So I got a very interesting email. Some of you are going to be like, what the heck? Especially if you're new to the channel and you haven't seen some of my videos in the past. I did this video on porn and masturbation, which, like it or not, it's helped a lot of people. I get emails probably about once a week now from guys saying this was the only thing that worked for me. Finally, when I watched this video, it changed my mindset and I understand it better, and it broke the addiction. So I'm really happy to do that, even if some of these topics are embarrassing to me or you. It doesn't matter. It's real. It's what really people struggle with, and we shouldn't be afraid to talk about that kind of stuff. It doesn't mean that you wear all of your dirty laundry or you put it all out for everyone all the time, but if you can help someone by sharing something that is maybe somewhat embarrassing to you or put you in a vulnerable situation to some degree, it's worth doing. At least I'm going to continue to do it. So here we go. This video was titled How to Overcome Small Penis Syndrome. And I'm not going to read any names here, but he says, "Hello, John. I watch your videos every single day, and thanks for keeping creating new content nonstop. I really appreciate your efforts on helping people overcome their fears and build better lives for themselves. I also have the Kindle edition of your latest book on career advice for developers. Even though I'm not a developer, I really love it." So he's talking about the complete software developer's career guide, which you can check out here. Definitely get a copy if you haven't already. It's a big fat book. You can use it to defend yourself in a terrorist attack. So I like the fact that that so many of you who watch my videos, that you're not even software developers, and you recognize that the stuff I produce, even the books about software development, are not actually just related to software development themselves. So I really want to take the message mainstream. It's something I've been thinking about, and I'm eventually going to do that, but I have to figure out the right way to do this. So I'm not too worried. I don't need to rush things, but eventually I'd like to go there. Anyway, he says, "I'm 30 years of age. I was a victim of bullying at high school about my penis being abnormally small. It has been more than 13 years since I graduated high school and now pursue a master's degree. I've suffered from severe depression and came close to committing suicide several times during my lifetime. I think I am still not at peace with my dick. I think it's objectively small. It's not a micro penis, but it's like 9 to 10 centimeters long when erect. I still struggle with porn and couldn't completely quit watching it. I don't watch every day, but I want to fully quit. I don't always masturbate when I watch porn. I can watch porn as if I'm watching a regular movie. I searched your channel about penis size or small penis syndrome, but couldn't find anything on this particular topic. I would very much appreciate it if you could talk about this issue, as I'm sure others will also find it relevant. Many thanks and huge respect to you." So, and he says Bill, but he says it's not his real name. So I'll just call him Bill. There you go. So, man, this is a tough one. This is definitely a tough one. So I did some research just to see on average penis size, just to make sure here, and the 9 to 10 centimeter range is definitely on the smaller side, but well within the average. Right? I think the average was like something like 5.4 inches, which is like 12 to 13 centimeters. Correct me if I'm wrong. So it's not that far off. I mean, it's a little bit, but it's, like you said, not a micro penis. So I think from that perspective, there's really, like, you're on the slightly smaller scale, but it's not like drastically. So in high school and stuff, in school, of course, being picked on is, whatever it is that someone can pick on you about, they're going to pick on you about it. So you probably have an overblown concept of how important this is because of that, right? Because you're a subject of bullying based on something that you can control, and at that age, and so you've probably been conscious of this your whole life. But I have to ask you this question. I mean, this is really what it comes down to, is because I was thinking about this in a different context. I won't go into it, but at what point does it matter, right? So think about this, right? In your whole life, okay, and everything that you're doing, your interactions with women, at what point does the penis size actually get revealed, right? What point in the relationship or in interactions with women, or whatever, does that happen? Okay, it happens at the point when you pull your pants down. Okay, And so at what point does that happen? You know, I'm not trying to, I'm sorry for the laughing, but I'm not trying to make fun. But I'm just saying this is kind of comical, right? If you think about it, that's sort of like, you've kind of already made it there, dude, right? Like if you're to the point where you're pulling your pants down in front of a woman and she's not a doctor, you've kind of made it. Like you've already been pretty damn successful at that point. So now what am I saying this? What am I trying to say? What I'm saying is that you're basically in depression, right? You're living your whole life, you know, feeling you're not good enough or adequate enough or any of these things for you know, based on something that you're only going to have a problem with. Possibly, right? You don't even know. You probably, if you had problems with this in the past, by the way, you would have emailed me. You would have told me in your email. You would have said, "Oh yeah, women laughed at me," or you know, I couldn't keep a girlfriend or something like that. But that's not the problem. Instead, it's a psychological problem. You see what I'm saying? It's like you are worrying about the moment when you pull down your pants. But that moment is such a small amount, right? And if you've already gotten to that point, you're kind of already there, right? You're at least gonna like be getting some that night. You see what I'm saying? Like so. You're living in all this fear, you're living in all this stress, right? All this turmoil, this depression, you know, feelings of suicide for something that is a very small percentage of affects your life a very small percentage of the time, right? If even, right? So you see what I'm saying here is that like there's no need to worry about at this point, right? There's so much that comes before that, and so you need to deal with what comes before that before dealing with this problem, right? And this isn't even a problem, right? It's a problem if it's actually causing you actual real problems physically in your life, right? But not if it's just a psychological problem up to that point. So don't focus on this at all, right? I mean, I know that this might be a concern to you, and I'll give you a little bit of advice on how to alleviate that concern from what I understand, which will be somewhat, which I think is besides the point, but I will tell you that at the end here. But my big point here is that it's not really, like, no one knows this. This is what I'm really getting at, is that no one knows this. When they see you, right, they can't see what's going on underneath the pants, right, unless you show them, right? They can't see that stuff. So if you're out there and you're, talking to girls and whatnot, and you feel like this is holding you back, like you're inadequate, you're not enough of a man, or this is an embarrassing thing. No one knows, right? No one knows until you pull down your pants, right? You see what I'm saying? Again, and even at that point, it's probably too late. Like you've probably already had enough success. So you got to stop living as if everyone knows, and this isn't even that big of a problem, right? Again, if we're within the size, from all the charts that I looked at, it seems like this is fine on the smaller side. Yes, let's be honest with what it is, but it's not a problem, right? It's not to the point where it's going to be a huge problem, right? I mean, if you get in a dick measuring contest, yes, this is going to be a problem for you. You're going to lose, right? But we're not in a dick measuring contest. Do you see what I'm saying, right? Or it's a very small part of your life, if there is, right? And so, again, don't worry so much about this whole thing, and don't let this rule your whole life. And this isn't just this problem, right? There's so many problems that are perceived in our lives, right? Or maybe we have some kind of physical defect or something like that, where that small thing occupies such a small square of our life, yet we live as if everyone can see it all the time and it should influence and affect all of our life. But that's just not true, right? And so when you live that way, I mean, you're missing out, right? I mean, honestly, like, get to the point. This is what I'm telling you, Bill, right? Get to the point where this is a problem, and then deal with it, right? So get to the point where you're talking to women, and you've got so many options. You're having all of these sexual encounters where women are basically saying to you, yeah, your penis is too small, or you see what I'm saying, or you're telling me, John, hey, I go and I have sex with this girl that's I was dating her, and then after that we're done because she's just not happy. She's just you know what I'm saying. So even if she's not saying it, but that's not happening, and I don't think it's going to happen, right? So what I'm saying is that, again, and this comes down to just like a general philosophy that I think expands beyond this whole issue of penis size, which is that if until there's an actual problem, Like, don't assume there's a problem. You're assuming there's a problem, and that's creating a problem in your life. You're making something out of what could possibly be nothing. And I'm not saying that it's definitely not nothing, because it could be something, but you don't know. You don't have enough evidence to say so. So you're basing your confidence, you're basing your life, you're somewhat ruining your life based on this thing that only happens potentially when you pull down your pants. And how often in life do you pull down your pants? Do you see what I'm saying here? Right? In high school, yeah, it's different when you're in the locker room and you have to deal with this shit every day. But, and I wish I had the strength and knowledge that I have now. I would just tell people just fuck off, right? Like, and I would think nothing of it. But but that's not your day today, right? I don't think that's the case. So the other thing I'll say about this is that, I mean, there are some solutions for this, right? And I don't know firsthand, but there are some things that you can do. You can look into like some weights that stretch. As far as like if I were going to pursue this, like logically, right? I did a little bit of research, and there's like extensions and surgery and stuff. I wouldn't go any of that route, but there were plenty of like people that had some pretty interesting results with extensions, right? And I'm only saying this because I just want to help you, right, as best I can. And so, I can give you some guidance, perhaps. Again, this is not firsthand, so I don't know if this stuff works. But if I were pursuing this myself, I would probably be going after some kind of weighted system or stretching system. And the reason why I'm saying this is because logically, I've seen guys with, the whole earring thing, right, where they put these stupid circles in their ears and it grows and it gets larger, right? And that obviously works, and you've seen people with stretched necks or stretched earlobes and stuff like that. So I would imagine the same principle would work here. It would probably take a lot of dedication and probably like a couple of years. But if it's this big of a concern to you, then maybe you want to go through all of this crap. But honestly, I don't think this is that huge of a deal. And like I said, at the point where you've gotten, I can talk from experience that when you've gotten there, you've already made it, right? Like, it's very unlikely that if a girl is willing to, have sex with you, that she's going to have a problem with your penis size being slightly small at that point, right? If it were a prejudge, if it was like, before, like if you're wearing a sign that said that you had a smaller than average penis, maybe, it would be hurting your sex life and your dating life and potential, mate potential or relationships. But the fact is that that's like the last thing that happens. So no one knows this the whole time. And again, I'll just reiterate this point because I think it's so important, is that what is it that you general viewer of this video have, okay, internally that no one can see, but you're wearing externally as if they can, right? I mean, don't do that. There's no need to do that. And we all do this, right? We all have some kind of weakness, and we know what it is, or something that's holding us back, or something that we feel guilty about, or something that we feel bad about, or something that makes us feel like we're inadequate or not enough. And we wear it externally where no one would see this, no one would know about this thing, except that we're showing the world by our actions and the way that we live our lives, and we're holding back our lives because of some small defect, which may not even be real. It may just be perceived. Like in this case, I highly suspect that there's actually not a problem. There's not actually something that would actually be holding back or be causing a problem in someone's life. So there you go. That's it. And I would say again about the second part of this video about the porn and masturbation part of this, the struggling with porn, can't completely quit watching it. I think here that, you're using this as an excuse. You're saying, well, I've got a small penis, and so because of that, I'm not going to be able to get women, or so I have to do this. So I have to do this, and I can watch it like a movie. This is unhealthy for you, right? And especially, I mean, come on here. Let's think about this. If you have a smaller than average size penis, should you be watching fucking porn movies that are with really fucking ridiculously sized penises? Like, I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like think about this. Not a good idea, right? Not a good idea, because are you going to feel inadequate? Are you going to have a warped perception of what reality is? And, I mean, porn is definitely a warped perception of reality. You should definitely cut that out. Again, I recommend highly to any of you guys out there. I used to do this shit, okay? I'll be totally honest with you. I cut it out completely, 100%. I don't think the last time I looked at any kind of porn was maybe man, it must have been over 3 years ago, at least 2 years ago, and I haven't turned back, and I won't, because it's fucking weakness. It's a fucking crutch, and it's a false reality. It doesn't help you in any way, you know. And if you stop, it will help you, right? And again, you can watch my video, watch the video on the porn and masturbation if that will help you if you're still struggling with this, and I kind of explain why this is. But you know, I would charge you to say that, look, you are not exercising the full potential of yourself as a man if you're doing this, if you're using this crutch. Instead, be the man. You know, if you want to be the kind of man that I talk about in my channel on, again, you can check out my playlist on becoming a better man and attracting women. If you want to become that man, you have to be that strong. You have to exude that strength, that masculine energy, that masculine strength. And if you're the kind of guy that has to, you know, get his rocks off from watching pornography instead of participating in it, right? What does that say about you, right? How can you feel good about yourself as a man being unable to go out on your own and procure the women that you want? Or you see what I'm saying? So if you constantly have this crutch, and you know, I don't want to reiterate everything I said in that other video, you should watch that video, but if you're constantly having this crutch, you're not going to have to go out on your own and seek this out, where you're not going to have to get stronger, you're not going to have to overcome your fear and talk to women. You know, I coach guys all the time. And I was just coaching some younger kids who they had never done this. They were so afraid to just go and talk to a girl. And, you know, part of it is because they have the accessibility. They have the reward already. They can just go and watch porn. And so, you know, Bill, I'll come back to you here and I'll say, look, you're using this as an excuse, right? You're perhaps not overcoming this deficiency in your life because you have a crutch. You have a crutch, which is porn. You can say, well, I can always, you know, be sexually fulfilled in this way, right? It's not the optimal. It's not what I really want in a life, but I can just do this, and I'll be able to just be okay and live with my smaller than average penis, and you know, live in sorrow and think that, you know, I got an unfair shake, right? That the world gave me a bad deal here. But that's not the case, right? So cut the shit out and get out there and forget about the whole fucking thing. Like just think of it this way, right? Don't create a problem until there is a problem. So do everything you can do, right? Do every single fucking thing that you can do. And then when it comes to the end and you say, okay, there's nothing I can do about this, when I go and I'm dating girls and, you know, and it comes down to me pulling out my penis, right? Okay, which if you're having this happen a lot of times, you're pretty fucking successful, right? The fact that you're not putting this in your email tells me that this is not happening. So get to the point where this is happening. Get to the point where you're like, man, fuck, you know, 20 different girls, I whipped out my dick and they laughed, right? And so this is a problem. But you got to get to the point where, quote, 20 different girls first, right? Get to the point where you're successful, right? And none of that is going to matter. Like, none of this is going to matter up to that point. Like, because having a smaller than average penis doesn't make any difference in your dating, in getting up to the point of whipping the thing out. You see what I'm saying? You know, I'm being a little bit vulgar here, but I hope you understand my point. So get to the success in that point, and then let's see if we have a problem. Let's see if we actually have a problem. Because your whole life, your whole depression, all of this crap might be based on something that's not even the smallest amount of a problem at all. Or maybe it's only a problem 5% of the time. Let's say it's a problem 5% of the time. If it's a problem 5% of the time, then the other 95% of the time, you can make up for that by just getting twice as many dates. You see what I'm saying? Like, by being twice as aggressive, it'll more than make up for it. It's just a small deficiency. And so it's not going to be a long-term problem, except that you've made one. So, you know, again, I'll just put this to the general case. How many times are we all doing this in our lives? Not just with the, you know, penis size, but with whatever it is, right? There's a lot of things that I want you to think real carefully, you know, if you're watching this video, of where are you doing this in your life? I know I do this in my life, for sure. But if you have some kind of deficiency, you know, you have to really understand, where is that deficiency actually creating a problem, right, in your life, and where is it not? You know, for example, for me, I'll just say real quick, and then I'll wrap up this video. I had a pec tear. I still have a pec tear. And, you know, for most people would say, damn, John, I would love to have your physique. And you can see the pec tear in some of my videos, you know, where you can see my physique, where I've done physique updates or whatnot. And does it really affect much? You know, for me at a conscious level, I'm like, oh, I'm not as much of a man. I'm not complete. You know, I can't bench as much. You know, there's always this defect in my, in my physique and whatnot, but does it really matter? It doesn't really matter. So, and it really affected me, but it didn't need to. It shouldn't have, because no one knows. When I have a shirt on, no one knows. When I have a shirt off, hell, no one even knows then. And so it's the same thing. You see what I'm saying? Is like, I could live in sorrow and be like, oh man, and I did for a while, and I could be like feeling like I'm inadequate because I have had this thing happen to me. But it's not actually a problem. It becomes a problem if I try to bench heavy weights. How often am I benching heavy weights in my life? You see what I'm saying? Like, how often is that actually really causing an impediment to what I want to accomplish and my goals in life? Never, never, never. So should I live my entire life feeling less of a man and feeling distraught and feeling like, I should commit suicide and be depressed because I have a pec tear, because I'll never be 100% again and never have the perfect physique that I want to have? No, I should live my life fully to 100% the best that I can with what I have, and up to the limit, right? Up to the whipping it out point, and then maybe if there's a small problem there, then I deal with that problem. But Bill, until you have an actual problem, don't create a problem for yourself, right? Come back to me, send me an email and says, yeah, I'm actually having a problem now in relationships. This is becoming an issue. Then we'll address that issue. But my guess would be, based on the research and whatnot, is that you're not actually going to have an issue. That this is going to be a non-issue, that you're making the issue, right? So stop making the issue out of your life. Get off the fucking porn, and go and if you have to, if you still believe it's an issue, then fucking do twice the work. Like, learn to be so much of a better lover psychologically, or you know what I mean, or to become that kind of a guy that can attract even more women, so that this becomes a non-issue, right? Overcome it if it is a weakness, but I seriously doubt it is. So there you go. That's what I got to say about that. If you like this video, click that subscribe button. If you feel like sharing it would help someone, definitely click the share, and make sure you click the bell so you don't miss any videos, as I do them here on the channel pretty much every day. I'll talk to you next time. Take care.